Boom. Welcome in, everybody. I feel like Dr. Nick there. Hello, everybody. Welcome,
Rob.
welcome to the PMA Sessions with Punk Rock Saves Lives for this last day of what is today? March. It's the last day of March.
Women's Month.
Yep, last day of Women's Month, and even though it should be every day, today is Trans People's Day of Visibility. So we do want to say that should be every day, just like every day should be Women's Day, just like every day should be everything. You know what I mean? We shouldn't see all those divisions. Look at that, a bunch of people jumping on already. Matt Morris says hi, Scott. I don't know if you see the comments down there, Scott.
I don't. Is there a way I can, or should I? Or?
I pop a bunch up here and there, and if someone asks a good question, I'll bring it up.
Okay.
And, Nick, one of our advisor board members, Nick just jumped in. Speaking of that, guys, one of the big pushes for starting next month, I was going to say at the end. I'll probably say it at the end as well. We're going to do food drives here in Denver, and we're encouraging all of our followers and supporters and volunteers across the country to try to set up a food drive in your town, take it to your local food bank, do something cool, and let us know where you're going to do it. We'll put it on our page, advertise it for you. We want to try to get a food drive this month in all 50 states. So that even if you take a box of food to your local food bank, it's going to help. So keep that in mind. That's our push for April. It's going to be cool. Yes, April, that is your push. No,
it's so weird. Every time of year this comes around. They're just talking about the date.
As you notice, we've got a little different lineup tonight. Mackenzie and Dan had some things that they had to take care of, so you got stuck with me. My brother Leland, who's been on a lot lately, which is rad. Leland, how are things going out there in Western Mass?
Oh, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Weather hadn't been too bad. Some crazy wind lately, but not too bad. And I think Massachusetts still trying to get caught up on probably where they should be with the vaccine, because there's not a lot of them happening here. Or not just some places. I think I feel like because Connecticut's literally like 4 miles from our door, and they have a vast majority of their population is all done, and we're still trying to figure out what direction to turn.
Sneak across the border, sir.
Just go hike over there, man.
I still have Massachusetts driver's license.
That's true.
I know it's great.
Like that.
What's that?
They're limiting it, like you have to live in that state in order to get it.
And you got to go with your state, I think, is the situation.
It's a shame that everybody's rollout is different and laggy, and nobody knows, there's no cohesiveness in any of it. Can we just all try to go get it as soon as fucking possible? No, got to make it different.
Well, you see and hear that the amazing April Shootman is with us, drummer extraordinaire, singer, songwriter, everything. And you know her from Sniper 66 and about 40 other bands as well as ours, Tribe. So, and all the gold records back there. Look at that.
Oh, but they're pretty colors. It's nice. How you guys doing today? My cat just really wants to crunch this paper.
That's what cats do.
Yeah. Shit. So, everything's good here. The weather's been great. I've been working outside. It's been nice. No complaints. I have my second vaccination appointment for next week, and everything's on the up and up, looking good.
Mine is Saturday, second one. So we'll see how I feel on Easter Sunday.
I went yesterday and they let me put in my information. They're like, "Oh, hey, you landed an appointment and it's only 2 miles from your house." And I'm like, "Yes." And then I finally got on after 2 hours, and then it's like, please select your time. And I'm like, what? I selected the date. I went to the drop down the time, and it's like there are no times available.
Oh,
Oh, God.
Anyway,
That don't work.
good time.
Oh. And as you can tell, and the draw tonight is the really, really, really cool fact that we have not only what I think is one of the best singers in the world, and just one of the raddest. And as he calls himself, the self-called curmudgeon, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Scott Reynolds, of solo artist now with J Beebs there.
I've been a solo artist forever, but yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't call myself a curmudgeon. Everybody else does, and I just agree with them. You know? Yeah, I got both my shots. So
oh,
Nice.
awesome.
Cool.
yeah,
You ought to get it send it over to the Stern brothers. They're trying to show all the punks getting their vaccines so we can be
what would I send to them? The whole
a picture of you saying you got vaccinated or whatever. There,
at the
I
jam.
could be lying. I could be lying. So
Yeah.
you know.
that's true.
But yeah, and when you get your second one, be careful. Mine kicked my ass. I got super sick.
Yeah, a couple of my friends are saying that they got really ill. That's why I'm lucky. I'm getting
Good
mine.
sign though. So
Yeah, I'm getting mine on Saturday, and I've got Sunday off. So hopefully it's.
it might not do anything. I know a lot of people didn't too much, but yeah, mine it just kicked my ass. I was out of it. You feel like you have the flu. You know, got the chills and good sleep though.
If it's anything like having COVID, I don't want it because I've already had COVID and it was not pleasant.
No, I don't think it's like that.
So, and April's playing fetch with the cat. I like it. Yeah.
Does your cat fetch?
She'll like bother me and like pester me until I do it, so I have to do it.
But she brings it back?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, my cat does that too. I thought I had the only cat that did that. What a bummer.
It's neat, but sometimes she's like really like aggressive about it. Like, we're doing this right now.
Where is she? I want to see her.
Oh, where's she going?
God, you got us a close up of Jabers too, man. I haven't.
Yeah,
seen
he's
him.
just sitting there
He's a-
like we need a
Sweetie.
Yeah.
Hi,
Hey,
Jay.
look at the camera.
That's it. There it is. Yeah.
You're a good boy. He needs
He's
his
the
own.
best boy.
You guys got the most amazing pics of him. Like he literally needs a calendar, and you'd sell the hell out of that too.
Yeah, we were going to do that actually, but we never did. We were
There's-
going to do more. Oh,
This
how
is
big is
cute.
that cat?
She's
Wait,
got
you're doing the beard again.
oh the cat beard. Yeah.
Yeah, that was an awesome picture.
It's hard to do, man. You got to get the angle right.
No, kitty, that's my papa, kitty.
Well, Scott, what's going on around Buffalo and all that area? Is you said you got your vaccine, and what's
Yeah.
going on? How is that area handling it? Do they
The rollout's pretty good. I mean, it wasn't hard to get an appointment. Although we drove clear to Syracuse, which is 3 hours from where I'm at. And the day after that, my friend got an appointment in town, like 2 blocks from my house. So we had to make 2 trips to Syracuse, but it was kind of fun because I haven't been on the road in forever. So it was sort of like,
You know,
know,
man, it's a little.
'cause I had to get one, and then Janet, my girlfriend, hers was the next day. So we got to find a bed and breakfast and, Airbnb and all that crap you used to do back when the world was available. It was kind of nice. So it was good. And then I got my shots, and now I get to see, my daughter had a baby, June, and I haven't been able to see him. They live in New York City. So I've never seen him, and in a couple of weeks, we're going to go visit.
Oh,
That's
man.
awesome.
Congratulations. That's awesome.
Yeah. I'm excited. I missed all of the cool.
Hold your little baby.
Yeah, I missed all the cool little infant shit, but he's still a peanut, so that'll be good.
There's still time.
Yeah, he's not driving yet or anything. So.
Teach him to be a curmudgeon. Yes.
Oh, that's all I can do.
Cool. Leland, I know you have a lot of questions, and I know, unfortunately, I do want to say I'm sorry to hear the news about the festival.
Yeah. We had to postpone Rock La Cause for a second in a row, but it is what it is. It's for the health and safety of everybody, and so everybody's going to keep their tickets, and they're going to come in 2022, and we're going to try to have a few new surprises to throw people's way, so they're not seeing the same exact lineup that they would have seen for. Oh, there you go, Punk Rock Granddad. Congratulations!
Nice to see that. Thank you, Jeremy.
Yeah, I know it's what needs to happen. So I'm trying to just take it with a grain of salt, not be too disappointed. I mean, lots of people have had to put an awful lot on hold. So anyway, but yeah. But I'm happy to have Scott here. I got to tell you the funniest story, because we were friends on Facebook, and he did this thing where he's like, "Hey, does anybody want me to come play in their town?" And I'm thinking, oh, this is like one of my favorite singers. There's no way he means that. That bullshit where Metallica goes, "Hey, what town should
Yeah,
we
Metallica. Yeah.
It's already booked, and they're not coming to, Lake Okoboji. Fuck off." So anyway, I reached out to him, and I'm like, "Hey, man, I'm putting together a tour that's really weird, and love to have you on it." And it started out with just a San Francisco show, and it was at where were we at? We're at the park. We're at the Parkside, I think.
I don't know, it was little.
Which is Audra's. Was it the Parkside? I think it was the Parkside. Yeah, it's Audra's bar. It's like a Fat Records bar. And so it's like, "Oh, you're going to come play in San Francisco?" And he's like, "Okay, well, where am I going to go after that?" And I'm like, "Montreal."
Yeah, it was a bit of a commute.
Wow.
A little bit around the
Yeah.
mountain. So anyway, so they came out and played. So for me, I had a couple extra guests come in that weren't joining everybody in Montreal, but it was Scott Reynolds, and it was Ronnie from Cigar, and it was Jason and Mikey from Authority Zero,
It was
and
fun.
then
Fun
Scott
as shit.
from Unwritten Law, and they were all just brought their acoustic guitars and came ready to jam, and it was so much fun. So then Scott came in and played that show, and then after that they went off to Quebec, and I did not do that part. I sent them into the loving arms of Jay Epinette and Marc Andre, who I guess like combination bodyguard / van driver.
Yeah, me and Mark had he got me a massage. I had a back thing going on. I always have a back thing going on.
Mhm.
And he hooked me up with this massage, and it was freaking great.
Dude, tour massages are like decadence.
Especially if it's only a couple. It's like I wasn't even in bad shape. I haven't been out for a month and a half. I've been out for like 3 days, and it's like, yeah, I'll take one. Yeah, it was really good. He's like, "I'll come get you in the morning. You got to get up." And I was like, But then I got up and I was like, "Oh boy, this is good stuff." So.
Yeah, Mark was for music answer. He was kind of like he's one of Jay's best friends, and he was kind of he's sort of the guy that you can ask to do anything. He arranged transportation for everybody.
Yeah.
Clear out a square if you need to. You guys are a welterweight boxing champion. And,
yeah, that's the thing is we drove around together a lot. I was a wrestler in college and stuff, and he's a boxer, and we both were in the mixed MMA. I don't do it. I just talk about it. So we have these really long conversations about our favorite boxers and stuff. He's a good guy. I like that guy.
Neat.
They're all nice up there, though.
So you went up there. Remember the stops, or do you remember anything that stuck out in your mind? I know there's got to be some fun stories from there.
Of that trip?
Yeah.
Well, Rami, yeah, but if I tell you, just if you talk to him, ask him about Typical River. That's all I'm saying. Ask him about Typical River.
Okay.
That was it. But no, I mean, it was just everybody just had fun the whole time, and it was super low key, and those guys are all really nice people. No pricks, no egos, no bullshit. Mm-hmm. So it was a nice trip. I'd love to do it again. Yeah.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah. Our buddy Tommy was just saying that he's driving over Vale. He was either listening to us or watching us driving over Vale Pass, and he's losing the feet. Tommy, be careful, man.
Yeah.
We like you, and there is a lot of snow up that way right now.
Get a piece because he's driving.
Yeah, that's please. We like you, and we want you back in Denver when you get back here. So, let's see. Leland, keep going, man. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
I wondering if there was cool stories from that tour. I mean, so 40 does a lot of stuff with Punk Rock Saves Lives, and then both of them were on. We put together a record, and they contributed tracks to that. Yeah, I mean they're both doing pretty well for the most part. But yeah, we'd love to have you guys up there again. My understanding is that was just a lot of fun.
It was stupid fun. I drank too much. I did that. I drank too much, which is incredibly rare for me. I only drink too much maybe 3-4 times a week. So, yeah.
Right.
You don't make me spit out my whiskey, Scott.
Don't do it. And I the thing is, I was gonna, because my jam is bourbon. I like bourbon. I like dry, good bourbon. Eagle Rare is my favorite, but you can never buy it anywhere. They never have it. But I was talking about it with somebody, and I decided to get vodka tonight. I don't know why. Now I see her with the brown, and I'm like some brown liquor right now.
Irish whiskey. There's a patty.
Yeah.
Is that Irish?
How do you drink it? Do you drink it on ice?
But it's
you got
Irish. It's cheaper than Tully.
It's not a bad whiskey though. It's. I mean, if you're shooting Irish whiskey, it's not a bad whiskey.
Nice.
I like Tully the best. You can sip it.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, man, if we're talking about it, then let's talk about Redbreast 12 year, because that is special whiskey. Oh.
I will tell you too. The try, Tyrconnell is aged a barrel. I mean,
what is it?
It's called Tyre, Tyre.
Is it Scotch? Is it whiskey? Is it?
It's an Irish. It's an Irish whiskey, but it's aged like a Scotch.
Is it scotchy? Is it peaty? I don't really like that.
Yeah,
it gets a little
dry. So dry that before it touches your lips, it's gone. I like that dry.
I think my favorite bourbon, like the last little bit, when we were in North Carolina before, COVID hit.
Yeah.
I remember getting a couple bottles of this bourbon that they used, and I don't know to what extent the sponsor or what of the Kentucky Derby, but it was called Calumet Farms or something like that. Either of you guys have ever had that before?
Tina probably has.
Really cool.
What is it? Is it a whiskey? Or is it like a?
My wife's a bourbon fanatic, so.
Oh, is she? So she'd know. Yeah, Calumet Farms. I don't know who the. I don't know who the distributor is. If that's.
Sounds like a cheese.
Yeah,
you drink the expensive stuff till you're drunk, and then you just go like, okay, I'm not gonna waste any more of this. I'll make something cheaper,
When taste buds are too drunk.
Yeah, it's like what the fuck now? I could be drinking perfume, and I'd be like, this is good. I like this. What is this? So why would you waste your expensive shit on your drunk you?
One of the other one though, it's and I've got a kind of a weird, cool story about it. But if you want an affordable, sippable Irish whiskey, make sure you find Slane. Slane. Slane.
Like
that was good. I was at a bar and I wasn't impressed, but maybe I'll buy a bottle just like.
I really enjoy it.
Is it dry? Is it nice and dry?
It's just a really good sipping Irish whiskey. I don't shoot it. I like to sip it. But the story though is, I got to go to Ireland for the first time, and I went with a friend, and he was a gigantic U2 fan. And
was he like U2 a lot, or was he physically enormous and he liked U2?
No, he loved U2. But he's a big
gigantic U2 fan. Could be 600 pounds.
He is kind of a big guy, but so
he's a gigantic U2 fan.
But and he likes U2.
We were in Dublin, and he wanted to go to Slane Castle, where they were U2 recorded Unforgettable Fire. They booked the castle and recorded in the castle. And so we drove out there to tour the castle, which was a good hour and a half drive, but fantastic. And as we're there, the lady giving us the tour, nobody else was there. It was kind of a cold day, and we got this kind of private tour of the castle. It was really rad. And she was like, yeah, I would take you downstairs, but they just finished barreling the first amount of the Slane whiskey.
Oh.
And we were like, what? And she
Wow.
goes, yeah, we're going to have our own whiskey. And we were like, holy cow, really? Is it going to be available in America? And she says, we're hoping so. And that was almost 2 years later when I first found it in America.
Nice.
So
That was
It-
probably from that barreling.
you never know.
I would make whiskey.
Jeremy just blasted in and said that Slane is a sherry cask finished Irish whiskey. So there you go.
Oh,
Gives it that distinct, smoother taste, I guess. So
Cool.
tastes like cherry.
it's whiskey talk with Punk Rock Saves Lives.
Yeah, I know. Is that what you guys?
Yeah, but other than the Calumet Farms, I haven't had like I mean, really the only thing tasty I think I've had recently was a Scotch. It's like, and I don't know if this is just an advertising gag or what the deal is, but it's like a mystery Scotch, and it's
Well, that's not very helpful.
I know. Well, it's called Enigma, and they release it in a really small batch, and it has like question marks and riddle things all over the box, and you're supposed to sort of guess, I guess, how old it is and what it's been aged in, and you know that. And it was really good. It's kind of
Not that refined. I'd be like, nope.
There it is.
I think maybe they tell you,
Okay to me.
I'd be like,
just
no,
can't-
I don't
you know
know.
who did it, but
I can't do a lot of Scotch. It just, yeah.
I mean, I like Scotch better now than I used to, and I'll drink anything as long as it's
mhm.
not poisonous. But
Live it.
But- I prefer just a good dry whiskey.
You kind of clipped out there.
Yeah,
Oh, I did.
yeah.
No, April did, I think.
Somebody called my phone. Sorry.
Oh, that would be why.
Who's calling your phone during this show? I don't need that. I got invited here, and people on their phone.
That's great.
Well, she only knew 20 minutes before we went on that she was co-hosting.
Yeah. Well, thanks for doing it, April.
That's cool.
Am I good? Are we good? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're doing good.
All right.
Scott-
Well, if the audio was weird for a second, I gotta like turn my iPad to like airplane mode or something, or then I wouldn't be able to do this.
No.
Sorry.
That
Okay.
won't work.
It's going to be glitchy a little bit, but
All right.
So, Scott, tell us just a little bit, if you can, about the first time you met Matt Riggle and what he's done for you in the past and what he's doing for you now.
Oh, Matt.
Yeah.
Well, I met him. I met him when they did Filmage. He came. I was working at Headhunters in Austin,
Mhm.
And I was there when I worked. I worked there. It was kind of everything. I just ran around, and Headhunters was a shithole, and it had a lot of struggles with plumbing and all this other crap. So between arguing with drunk people and serving drinks and plunging toilets and all of that, I was there all the time. So they called me and said, "Hey, do you want to do an interview for this thing we're doing about the Descendants and all?" And I said, "Sure." And they said, "Where you want to do it?" And I said, "Well, I'll probably be at Headhunters." So we did it down there. I even had my bar rag attached and everything. I was like, "Oh, you guys are here? Okay, let's do this." And they were just super cool. And Matt, he was doing this thing called Sunday brunch shows, and he said, "Hey, you want to do do you want to do a song?" And so I did a song and an interview. They did an interview, something like this, and it was fun. And he's just a good guy, and everybody he got involved in that. A lot of times you do those things, and Matt Morris says Riggle is awesome. I just see that right there. Anyway, so I did the thing, and he got like a really good array of people. A lot of times you not to be a dick, but a lot of times you watch that stuff and you go, "Oh, this is kind of boring," or kind of whatever. And it was super good. It was really riveting, and the bands were good. And he's a cool guy, and he was like, I did it a few times, and just out of the blue, he goes, "Hey, I want to do a thing. He heard the new record, the Chihuahua and Buffalo, and he's like, "Man, those songs are good. This is a good thing. Why don't we do a live concert and it turned into like more than just a live concert. It's like He interviewed my mother. There's a bunch of interviews with people that I'm not sure who all, but even my brother is getting interviewed, and it's I don't know. I don't know what else to say about it because I don't know what he's got a pretty. He's like super. Like he don't fuck around. He's like,
right.
I had this idea, and then he's like, here, check this out. And it's like, holy crap! Like, so I don't know. That guy knows he knows his shit, and I have to. It's more like me trying to live up to what he's good at, because I'm a complete ham and egger on guitar and everything else. So it's like I'm trying to keep up with him, but I don't know exactly what it's going to be. But it's concert footage, like home stuff, and interviews, and just kind of my story a bit. I'm very excited about it.
There's a link on your page. Is there a link on your page or somewhere?
Not yet. Nothing's available yet. Oh no, there's a link to his thing. Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't think anything's up on it really. So
we absolutely love.
I think this might. Is this it? No. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
There's the album.
Oh,
yeah,
and
Resistant Records is
you can get Chihuahua and Buffalo on iTunes too.
Yeah.
I that's where I found it, and I absolutely love it. So great. Yeah, we love the hell out of Filmage, and that was really cool seeing everybody get interviewed, doing everything like that. So that's really cool that he's following up, and I can't wait to see it, whatever it is.
Thank you. I'm really excited about it. I've never had anything like this happen.
Did you know he was going to talk to your mom about you, or did he just go for it?
No, he's like, because my mom lives here in town. I got a divorce and the kids moved away, and I moved. I was just having a hard life. Some friends were helping me out, places to stay, and I was just kind of miserable. I was miserable. I was in Austin, and I love Austin, but it's expensive when you don't have any money. And when my wife left, I lived in a 2-bedroom apartment, but I was also like so depressed I couldn't figure out what to do. So the lease was up right about when she left, so I signed again for this 2-bedroom, spent all my money on it, and I was broke. And
man.
Yeah. Say it again.
I'm in my studio apartment, and I'm like, ooh, scraping.
Yeah, I know. So you can imagine like a bum like me. I'm the worst bartender on earth, and I was a bartender, and
sounds like it would put you out quite a bit.
Yeah, it did. It drained and I was broke.
Right.
So I thought, well, I'll wander back home. My mom is getting up there, and she'd probably like to have me around, and I miss home, and I don't know. I was at rock bottom, and I came back, and so now things are going good for me, and I have a wonderful girlfriend, and I have a cool apartment that, whatever. But anyway, I'm meandering, but
over stuff, man.
Yeah, but you can't. Yeah, you can't. Whatever that shit.
That's cool.
And your girlfriend rules, and I love your dog. And
thank you.
You got.
Well, I'm happier than I've been in a million years. And
this is the PMA session, though. We gotta really, really exalt the cool stuff. So lay it on.
Okay. Well, then good. So my mom lives. I walk over to where my mom lives. She's probably about half a mile from here, and so Matt came to town, and he talked to my friend Dave Friedman, who he has a studio here, and he's a really good record producer, and he produced my record, Adventure Boy, years ago, and I've known him and his wife Mary for since before I was an all, and so he's here, and he's produced Sleater Kinney, and I could go down a whole list of names, but
Wikipedia, that guy,
MGMT, and he's a big deal, and so he got interviewed for it, which is cool. He's a Flaming Lips producer.
Oh,
and what was my point with that? Well, he's in it, and I think Bill got interviewed, Bill Stevenson, and so there's like a lot of stuff. And Matt's like, I want to talk to your mom, I was like, you're in charge of this shit.
Your mom off limits.
I invited Bill to join us tonight. I don't know if he's able to watch or not, but I totally invited him. I'm like, hey, you got to check this out. So that's really cool. That's really cool.
Yeah.
That, he's putting that together. Honestly,
I'm overwhelmed by the whole idea of it. Like I didn't, I had no idea anybody would even give a shit, And now it's like it's happening. So
and that's what a cumulative good life and good works in your life will get you. It'll get you a doc at the end of the way. At the end of the day.
Yeah. Everybody get ready for your documentary. It's coming.
Yeah.
Just keep my age.
Yeah. And you might be lucky enough to get a doc about yourself.
Well, I am a music documentary junkie, so
isn't that weird how that is? Because it doesn't matter even who it is. Almost like I'd be sitting around sipping some whiskey late at night, and I clicking on whatever the TV machine things are, and I'll say, oh, and I watched one on Gordon Lightfoot the other day,
Nice.
and it's like, holy crap, Gordon Lightfoot did a lot, and all of these people loved Gordon Lightfoot, and I'm like, Edmund Fitzgerald, and all the songs he wrote, the guitar playing, I'm like, I had no friggin' idea Gordon Lightfoot was so freaking good at music, and he was really good. It's always interesting. So I'm hoping I'll be interesting too.
Into just how they lived, like no matter
the little minutiae of their lives. I swear, and not just musicians. It could be anybody. I swear to God, any person on earth is interesting if you just dig it down.
Just imagine.
Real quick, hang on. Before I forget, if Matt, if you're still talking to Matt, he's still putting stuff together. Have him hit up me and Rami, because Rami, I guess, has a lot of video from the Quebec tour. And
he does?
Quite a bit of
that could be good or not good.
Well,
hey man, just lay your life out on the line, dude.
The
It happened.
Awesome. It's good.
This is my off-key period. Yeah.
Well, there's a really drunk guy.
This is when I sang flat for quite a bit.
Woo! After every song. That, the footage was great. That was the drunk guy.
We have a question from Marco Lab.
Marco. Okay.
Marco, our buddy that does Dusty Wax Records.
Oh, there you go.
Would I participate in the volume 2 of 7 Degrees of Stefan? Oh, fuck yeah. That'd be fun.
That would be cool.
Stefan, and he's really talented.
Yeah.
He's a great musician. We did that. What was the song that we did? Sunny Disposition.
Yeah.
He sent me this music. And he said, he gave me the story about, and it was a friend of theirs, or I hope I'm not.
No, please.
But I hope I'm not saying something I'm speaking out of turn, because maybe it's a secret. But anyway, it's a friend of theirs, and they had this story. And he said, he sent me the song, and he played the melody on guitar. And he said, the only thing I got, he told me this story about this person and this other person. And I don't want to get too into it because I don't know if it's private. And then he said, only thing I got is, no, you're on a mission to make my sunny disposition, right? And he said, and then here's the melody. And he told me this story about how it went. So then I was like, okay. And the thing is, when I write lyrics, it's very much like a puzzle to me. Like I hate writing lyrics. It's very difficult, mostly because I get super anal retentive about like doing rhyme, this word, and then these two rhyme, and then this and this one rhyme. Like I make it like a big. It's stupid, ridiculous. So then, but he gave me so many parameters. It's like I didn't have to come up with a melody. I already knew what the song should be about, and I had know you're on a mission to wreck my sunny disposition. So I just sat there, it was like a Rubik's Cube putting this thing together. And, I got you are the life and death, and made you that it's worth remembering that I knew you. That whole thing. Got it done. I'm like, I think that fits. I think that'll fly. Sent it to him, and he's like, I like it, but at the very end, you guys familiar with the song at all? Like at the end, it's been a while, but it doesn't matter. At the end, I do one thing, and then what I had done was I did it twice. And he's like, "Can you come up with a second thing for the end, for the big finish?" And
That's more words,
so I
though.
did. And it came out, and it was like, well, now that was fun. I got to like, you don't get to do shit like that very often in your life, where somebody goes, "Here's the parameters, fucking fit some shit in there that works," you know.
I have a hard time writing lyrics as well. I'm not like a typical lyricist, but when I have those like little things that will, they aren't holding you back. They're just setting you into a track, and then you
exactly
everything around it. So there's a song that I sing on the latest Sniper album that's about the serial killer that haunted Austin, Texas in 1885, and I'm having to write it from the perspective of the women getting killed.
Wow.
And I feel like I knocked it out of the park, and I was like, I can write words. But it was like, it helped that it was a specific thing, and you had to tell her story. And
exactly.
And it was fun, like fitting those boxes together.
Yeah, and then you don't got to second guess yourself, like, because like he's going, "This is what I want." And I go, "Okay, dude, then that's what you'll get." Whereas if it's what I want, I might go, "Is this even a good idea?"
Yeah,
it's like, I got no choice. I'll just do it, you know.
Annick is second, third, triple, quadruple guest until I ruin it for myself. So
right.
Yeah.
Well, that was April. That was what was cool with the stuff we're doing with these roving years. Is I wrote these lyrics, gave them to Adam Baum from the Faction because he had written the guitar parts, and he tweaked the lyrics a little bit for me, but left them as mine. And it was really cool because I felt like, okay, here's something personal. Take them, do what you want, and it felt cool because they came back, you know, and they came back even better.
So did you write the lyrics sans music? You just wrote some lyrics?
He sent some guitar tracks.
Okay. All right.
Without any, they were structured but not fully structured, and there was no drums, and so I mapped them basically and wrote these lyrics, and then we got one practice before COVID, and believe it or not, the 6 songs that'll be on the 6 songs that'll be on the LP. April flew to Denver. Todd and I are both here, and Adam flew in from Vegas, and we had one day of rehearsal, and we pieced the 6 songs together.
Nice.
And here they come. You know,
rock right there.
The new days of COVID.
Separately.
Recorded separately. April did her drums down there and backing vocals down in Austin. Adam did all of his guitar tracks, and then Todd and I did the guitar, the rest with. We took one weekend of socially distance with Adam and flew to his house in Vegas, and we just stayed in his house and recorded.
I wanted to do it so bad, but it gave me so much anxiety just thinking about like getting on a plane and going somewhere.
Not worried. And I don't know
this way though.
I don't know if he told you this, April, but I didn't know, and I'm really stoked about it because I thought we were just a project, for lack of better ideas, and we definitely probably will never do tours and stuff, but
I'll say no.
never say never.
What does that even mean?
But
probably.
But Adam did call the other day and said he wanted me to write 10 new vocals, and we're going to do a new album, and hopefully we'll have the EP out in June, and then try to get it full out for Christmas, is what he said. So,
hey Rob, put another record on my wall, you son of a bitch.
Yes, there you go.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you guys know this or not, but we had I believe it was the last Music for Cancer, and Scott Reynolds came down to play that, which was amazing. And there was nearby the festival grounds, there was this old church, I guess, that shut down.
Oh man!
The church was like, I don't know when this church was built, but it's got to be a couple hundred years old, and it's all wood.
You're talking about the show with me and Chad?
Yeah. So it's like an acoustic. It's like an acoustic dream, except for we have a whole bunch of really drunk festivals.
Yeah. So let me interject.
Okay.
Here's the thing. They have the festival all day. People get crazy and fucked up and whatnot. Then we all go to a church to listen to acoustic music.
I like it.
What could go wrong? What could go wrong? Yeah, it was hilarious. It was really funny.
So we had Scott there. Chad Price. I had talked to Brandon Landelius that used to play with Authority Zero. He has a band with Little Joe from Lagwagon and RKL and Chad, and their band is called A Vulture Wake, and they're fucking amazing. So it said, hey, do you want to come to Vulture Wake? Want to come play the festival? And then we could do acoustic in the church. So it was really cool having Chad Price and having, Scott Reynolds there on the same night and hearing some great music. And I was walking around and I'm not impolite in Canada because they're the most polite people in the world. But that night I literally was like, shut the fuck up. Go outside if you want to talk to your friends or if you want to be loud.
But
you got epic fucking musicians on stage in here. And it was cool because Javers was on stage with Scott and he had this like a security or a bouncer outfit on or something?
Yeah,
like
it's a
that? It was
security.
fucking rad. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that was to be expected and it was still fun. I still had a blast. It's really weird because I do this thing. I've been doing it now for years with this nylon string guitar, and I come out and well, the whole concept of Chihuahua and Buffalo is that my dog was very happy in Austin, Texas. It was warm. He weighs 4 pounds and he has no hair, and then shit fell apart for me, and I'm like, well, I'm gonna move back to Buffalo, and then JB was like, what the fuck? This is incredible. The album cover, the picture of him on the cover was taken right out here. And I was actually in South America. I was in Argentina and Brazil and whatnot, playing I was just in Argentina that year. When I was playing a show, and Janet, my girlfriend, sent me this picture of of him in the snow when he's in the parka, and she said he actually screamed. Right, he screamed.
Oh no!
I felt terrible, but he's adapted and he wears a coat, and but he's like not where he needs to figure out how to adjust and whatever. So now, for me, I'm a guy that plays a nylon string acoustic guitar, and I do these sort of loungy, jazzy, whatever the fuck they are, and they don't fit anywhere. So I end up like I opened for Pennywise once.
Yeah.
And I think like it goes over okay because people go, "The fuck is wrong with this guy coming out here with that?" And then they go, "That's kind of punk ass in and of itself." He came out with a Chihuahua and an acoustic nylon guitar playing these jazz songs, and a lot of times they just shut the fuck up. Like I opened for Descendants at Stubbs.
Yeah,
they listened. It went great. And then I went to Australia, and the guy from Australia, some guy gets hold of me, goes, "You want to open for Anti-Flag in Australia?" Remember Anti-Flag? I'm like, Anti-Flag? I didn't know that much about him, to be honest. All I saw was, "You want to play Australia?" And I was like, "Well, fuck yeah,
Yes.
So went down there. Anti-Flag, I don't know if they play like super like
Anthemic.
Government.
Everybody save the world, and like let's fucking fuck the fuckers and fuck them all and let's do it, And then I come out and play Maria's an Easter Egg with my little guitar, and it was interesting. They're very nice people, by the way. We had a great time. But
Actually,
go ahead.
Point to be made. Justin, one of the two singers of Anti-Flag, is on the board of directors of Punk Rock Saves Lives.
Is he?
Yep.
They put their money where their mouth is. They
do.
And they're really, really good guys. And I was very different. So every night it would be like a hardcore band, a quasi metal band or a straight up punk rock band, me, right, with my acoustic guitar and my we didn't have my Chihuahua back then because you couldn't take them down there. And then Anti-Flag would come out, wave their big flag, and
So you're
and,
direct support for
and-
that, Ruckus?
what's that?
Your direct support for all that.
Yeah, I was third out of 4, and and I would get I get nervous anyway. I could play with 5 people and I get totally nervous. But for these shows, I was going. There'd be some guy come off and he'd be like, "Kill it, man!" And he'd just have destroyed with his Pantera sounding band or whatever. And then there I come with my thing, and I would have a bottle of like Jim Beam, and I just go gook, 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 and start.
Oh my gosh.
It went great every night. Every night they were super cool to me. But the whole point is, I was a Chihuahua in Buffalo. You know what I mean? Like that's me, right? Right now in the whole idea of music, the whole music scene, I'm like a Chihuahua in Buffalo. I don't know exactly where I fit or what I do, but just like JB, put a coat on and do it.
Hey,
So-
just get it done.
That might be the ultimate definition of PMA. I think that's what these are all about. And that's awesome, Scott.
I mean, it can be terrifying some nights because you go, they're just going to hate what I'm going to do, but I'm going to go out and I'm going to play these you've heard my record, and
Right.
it goes over great. I think a lot of times I really do think they look up and go, well, that guy's got some balls to come out here and do that. I'm going to give him some room, and they don't really realize that I've already urinated in my pants, and
I love that the tours in this scene. I mean, I know this was a while ago, but I love that concerts are opening up like that.
Yeah.
Dropkick Murphys and Rancid, and on the last tour in a couple of different spots.
Uh-huh.
For opening the show, they just had Kevin Seconds, on an acoustic guitar.
Yeah.
And
I've played with Kevin a few times.
they were like, "Fuck yeah!" I think that's really cool that they.
People like that shit. Like, I know more than just me love really loud punk rock and really sappy acoustic guitar shit.
Well, yeah.
I
And that's-
personally love that, and I know a lot of people do. So putting it together doesn't sound too
No, yeah. The thing is, people are insecure and they want to be allowed. Like I like very little of all kinds of music. I think most people are redundant and are taking someone else's idea and they're not that good or they whatever. But there's no style or type of music that I find illegitimate. Doesn't matter what it is, somebody does it great, and if they do it great, I'm interested. I mean, if some guy plays polka and I see a polka band and they're just fucking destroying, I'm like, these guys rule. Or if I see a country guy, or if I see I like a lot of country, so that is. But it doesn't matter. I like songs from musicals. I like My Fair Lady. Every song in it is brilliant, right? And I think a lot of people get caught up in the scene that they've decided this is what I am. It got worse at a certain point. It used to be back when I first was in the punk rock and stuff. There were all different kinds of bands, and you'd see a skinhead standing next to a guy with long hair, and then it turned into then you got like the hardcore bands and the. But I think people ultimately do like every kind of music. They just don't let themselves like it. They have to be given permission because they go, does this make me a poser dick if I like this? It's just so if you go to a show and something happens at that show and you're like, this show's cool, my friends are cool, and this guy's playing an acoustic guitar, it's okay if I like it. And you can hand him something. I can play something that my mother likes, and I know some hardcore guy will go, I like it too. Yeah. And it's sort of sad that it has to be couched that way, that you have to go like, well, it's okay to like this because it's at the punk rock show, but whatever, it works. A good song is a good song.
All the time, like, and people in our scene or whatever. When I was a lot younger, because it was like, I knew quite a bit about music and where it came from, and so it was like, why are you listening to that? That's not punk. And I'm like,
right.
If it wasn't for gospel and it wasn't for country, there wouldn't be any rock and roll. There sure as hell wouldn't be any punk.
If it wasn't for notes, there wouldn't be music. What the fuck ever.
Someone's done it already.
By the way, April, that thing that I liked the other day that you played, that was
Oh.
beautiful.
Oh,
I
thanks.
really enjoyed that. That was really good. What was that?
Stuck in my head for like 2 weeks.
What was it?
It's a Todd Snyder.
Yeah.
Which one?
What's that?
Which song was it?
Oh, I Can't Complain.
Yeah.
It was beautiful. I loved
Yeah.
it. And I loved the way you played it, and I loved the way your voice sounded. It was killer.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
And Richard just put up something, and I've got to say, Richard, I ride a moped and I love it.
Yeah, but you get his point. You get his point.
Yeah. It's
But not everybody can ride a moped in front of their friends, and that's just the point. Yeah.
Well, then your friends aren't cool, man. if you can't be a fucking like multi.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying. There's like a lot of people that go.
No, you're making the great point. The kind of like
if you hand it to them.
Because that applies itself to so many different things, and why
Right.
we beat up and ourselves up, because we're always trying to like fit this ideal that doesn't even fucking exist. So like, why worry about it?
Well, like the concept of punk rock in general isn't really anything, because all it is countercultural. It became a word at one point, but like I was saying the other day, the hippies were punk when they were hippies because they hated the cops and they fucking did what they did, and they didn't give a fuck, and they ran around naked, and you don't get much more punk than that. And I always go back to respect. I mean, there's always something, and it didn't get called punk, but there's always something. You could go back in time to things that you go back to Egypt, and some guy was like, yeah, you guys are playing those. Well, I'm going to play this log over here, and I'm going to wear my head like this. Yeah. And people would have gone, that guy's fucking punk, but they would have called him something else. But so who really gives a fuck, really? When you get down to who cares,
Nice.
Well, MC5, they were a perfect combination of hippies and what was punk before it was punk.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the Grateful Dead. If you got people make fun of it or whatever, but they were against the cops, and they said, if you got a warrant, I guess you're going to come in. That's like a really punk rock line. If that was in a Black Flag song, you'd go like, yeah.
Oh, no.
It's a lot of outlaw country that people would be like celebrating.
Exactly. Some of the outlaw country stuff is.
Or pre-outlaw country, like way back ass country, where it's like, or like I brought up the other day, Little Richard, a black quasi-transvestite homosexual in the 50s screaming his head off in the South. You don't get more punk rock than that, And nothing has a bigger dick than that. Nothing.
And he did it, and
did it when he went like, this is what I do.
And
punk rock.
So many white people at the time accepted it and went for it.
The kids did.
Obviously, some hated it, but that made us better. It's unbelievable.
Well, so my point is, for me, the idea of punk rock, I don't give a fuck. It's counterculture. It's counterculture. Those people that
I hate when people try to define it. It's just like,
or even care what it is. Just,
I think I've
enjoy it. Raise some hell. Hate the cops. Do your thing.
I've said on this show so many times that punk rock is anybody that does it themselves. It's DIY. It's just
depends on what they're doing themselves. But yeah. I get your point. I do.
Because I remember the one night I was telling you, I'm going out to a show, and you're like, oh, which punk rock show or something are you going out to see? And I was actually going to Bob. So Bob Weir's a friend of mine, and I was going.
Oh, you know Bob Weir? Did we talk about that?
We did, yeah. I totally told you about
I remember that.
So now,
that's very cool.
Shows up in town. He always invites us out to go see, whether he's playing with Wolf Bros or Dead and Company or whoever. And I remember Rob's like, which punk band are you going to see? And I was like, I'm going to see Dead and Company or something. And you're like, well, that dude's fucking punk rock as hell from way back when, fuck the cops, and we're going to do what we want to do. And, and I thought that was cool, but I do I take flack sometimes from some people who are just like, oh, that's not punk. You know.
See, I think giving you flack for doing that is the least punk thing on earth.
Yeah.
Thank you. Oh my god.
You know, do what you want to do. Isn't that what we're talking about?
Yeah.
Like people go, I don't give a shit, and then get mad at you for doing something. It's like, oh, I'm supposed to give a shit? Oh, okay. I thought we didn't give a shit around here. That's what I heard anyway.
Yeah, first to say it.
Else, get out of here.
Like I don't get it all. You know, I mean, I'm great with a song at 3 minutes. I'm usually still pretty fine with it at 6 minutes. When you enter like minute 39 of the same song, but it's
depends on the song.
Yeah, different everything, different solos, different instruments.
Nothing's illegitimate until you don't like it, you know.
Yeah.
And I like certain bands. There are bands that I love, but there are records that I love, and then there are songs that I love, and you can chop it down to whatever. And I mean, fucking Miley Cyrus has a song I love. I really like it. You know, it's like, why don't you shoot me? I like the song. I'm going to pretend I don't, you know, but I'm not going to buy a Miley Cyrus record probably. But then I like in my record collection, I can count on one hand all the songs that I like every song start to finish. And there are some where I go, I don't like any song, but this one motherfucking song is fucking, you know, I'm going to go buy it. I don't give a shit, you know.
Well,
And,
just like all that.
it's just ironic how a lot of times the punk rock ethos is so counter to what it professes to be, where you go like, you're the least punk rock I got. You're the most uptight motherfucker I've ever met. You know, you've got all your ducks in a row and they have to be this. And if they're not, then you're going to beat me up. You know, like what kind of shit is that? You're a goddamn conservative shithead, you know?
Yeah. That's really that kind of thinking.
You don't have
You got me. I'm drinking. So
you don't have enough pieces of flair on your jacket.
right? It's the same thing. Right.
But all right. Well, believe it or not, guys, we've almost hit an hour.
Really?
It's been just like a lightning rod here. This is great. Scott, the conversation's been insane, and thank you.
I've been talking too much, probably.
No.
More the merrier. I talk.
All right.
Works.
There's so many cool things coming up, but I do want to tell, and I said this at the beginning, Scott, you're literally one of my favorite voices in rock or whatever you want to call it.
You could use the word punk. It's fine, but I'm just.
I mean,
Curmudgeon rock.
when you
Curmudgeon rock. See it? Where is it?
That's awesome.
See that? Can you read that? Curmudgeon Club? Scott Reynolds, Curmudgeon Club?
Nice, yeah.
When you came into All, I was working in record stores, and you know the first parts of All were great, and then you came in, and I thought it just took it so much. And that's nothing against Dave Smalley; he's one of amazing human.
He's a hell of a fella. I like that guy a lot.
I like that guy a ton, but when you came in, it just went. I mean, it was incredible, and I'm not just. They know me on here. I'll tell you if I don't like something. But.
I know. I mean, I get it. Everybody, you know, that whole conversation's been going on, you know, forever, and I'm happy you're in my camp because.
Well, I do love that the band had 3 distinct singers.
You know, can I say something about that?
Yeah.
The idea that I think kind of has always troubled me about that is the idea that it's the same band with 3 singers, and you know, if you don't. It's totally okay to like one version and not the other. It's totally okay. I'm more offended by people that go, you can't do that. It's all the same. I believe that when you change 25% of the personnel and the songwriting people, the shit should change a bit. You know, nobody says that Firehose and the Minutemen are the same band. Nobody says that, you know, so it's totally okay with me if somebody goes, yeah, I don't like that. I don't like the Scott stuff. I like the Chad stuff. And I don't think it's the same band. I think, as a matter of fact, I think that's a nod toward both of our contributions to the band. You know what I mean? And I'm cool with that. So
To change it as
to change it. You write for each other, and it like I said, 1/4 of the personnel changes. It's a Van Halen, Sammy Hagar, David Lee Roth. Come on, it's not the same band.
Come on.
So
Hence why it'll always be called Van Hagar.
I can't. Love.
You
You love.
hmm? What'd you say?
I said, why can't they?
And Hagar. That's why I'll always be.
Why can't there be the go? Yeah. I mean, and you could even like them both, but I can't imagine you think they sound the same. You know?
No, of course.
Look, Janet just threw up your link, so everybody please go over.
Hey, everyone, yeah.
Everybody go out, order stuff off. He's
Scott,
like I
is
said. What's that?
Is that your girlfriend? Wait, who's that?
That's my girlfriend.
Yeah.
That's
She's the person that makes it so that I don't. She does the hard stuff. I just drink too much, and she's like, "Here's what we have to do today. This is the thing," and not just with my music or whatever. She's like, did you take your medication? Did you she's the best. She's got a lot of patience to hang out with a guy like me. So, yeah.
Janet is completely awesome, and they have a bar that they're renovating during COVID, and I've seen some of the pictures they post are awesome, and I'm we get a chance to stop in there when things
you better.
I think I need to figure out a tour going to go close to Buffalo.
Dude, okay, so I'm coming to a Buffalo Bills game, bro.
When? That's right, you're a Buffalo Bills fan. Why are you a Buffalo Bills fan?
Hey.
Why are you a Buffalo Bills fan?
My best friend Dylan in Sniper 66, his stepdad is I think from there, but made him a Buffalo Bills fan.
Ah, see the Bills.
By proxy,
I was at Ridge Stadium watching the Bills.
I'm all in, dude.
That's great. I was watching the Bills when OJ was on the team. I was back when, I was at the stadium. And I love the Bills. It's a religion around here. Just as a religion. I think it's true. It's like Green Bay or whatever. Just love the Bills. When I saw you in that, I was like, God, I knew I liked her.
Hell yeah.
Hey, before we go, I don't know if my other daughter Megan she had asked where to see it, but if Megan and my other grandson Jenton are watching, hello, and I haven't been able to see them either during this whole thing. So when this is over, they're down in Florida. They travel around on a boat and do all kinds of cool shit. So I just wanted to mention them in case they're watching.
Oh, that's cute.
That's awesome.
You should see all the Go Bills, and Jim Kelly is the greatest quarterback of all time.
Oh, fuck yeah.
And it says that's coming from a Patriots fan. So.
Oh, wow.
Whoa, there's respect.
I will tell you something really cool about Jim Kelly. Scott, I know you don't probably know this, but before we were Punk Rock Saves Lives, we were all part of a charity called Love, Hope, Strength. And we did bone marrow registry drives around the country. And
wow.
So we got people to swab their cheeks at concerts. And Jim Kelly just had a big cancer fight.
He's been through.
And actually, this is really weird that this came up. The same guy I was talking about that wanted to go to the Slane Castle goes to the Hall of Fame game every year.
Oh, really?
Every year he goes to Canton, Ohio to the Hall of Fame football game, which is the first game of the year, preseason or whatever, and the induction ceremony. And he knew Jim Kelly was going through a cancer fight, and he gave Jim Kelly some of our cuffs that said love, hope, and strength. And for years, and I bet even if we keep watching right now, and interviews with Jim Kelly or stuff that show up, and he was wearing them. He would wear them all the time. Yeah, it was really wild. I was like, holy, and that's, as much as I'm a punk rocker and into music, I love sports, and it's
me too.
Sports
is like the only actual reality show ever, and it's like,
it's so rich.
Like you don't know what's going to happen. No one does, and I don't know. I think people look at athletes and they, the whole shut up and dribble thing and all that, but athletics requires so much dedication and so much work, and on top of it, just like anything else, just like the smartest guy in your school, the most athletic guy in your school is equally gifted in his own way, and I find sports fascinating, absolutely fascinating.
Yeah, I'm obsessed.
I love it. So
yeah, it's shit's crazy.
it's crazy. I just I'm a sports fan. So, but I didn't know you did all that stuff.
Yep, that's,
Really, really humbling to hear. I don't do stuff like that. I would like to get involved in stuff like that.
well, that's
To do my-
we still have the ability to do that, but as things open up, we'll be touring with all sorts of bands doing.
Well, I want to connect and help because
Absolutely. And
I'm looking for some way to make my time on in this reality, bigger than myself, beyond, be part of the solution,
well, that's the goal of the new Punk Rock Saves Lives, is that we will continue to tour with bands and festivals and people we enjoy, and we can move and shake and represent different things depending on what our artists like. So if say diabetes was very important to you, which it is to me because I'm a diabetic,
right?
And you wanted us to come on tour with you and do something positive in the lobby, we could do petitions for making insulin affordable. We could do, direct linking and people into that. We could.
You know how to do all that shit?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's what
that was the thing with Punk Rock Saves Lives, was like we both came from cancer backgrounds. Music for cancer. He was touring for 10 years, on the bone marrow drive.
Right.
When we reached a point where we were like, we could do this, but we could also do, other things too, was that, different bands have different things that are important to them. I mean, you might have a next door neighbor that needs a kidney. Okay. Hey,
I have a kidney
do
disease.
that, right?
I had a stroke over here, so.
Yeah. The idea was like, how can we best influence the people in our communities, but also the people and the people right in our own neighborhoods, but also remain, relevant and important to the people that are directly supporting us, that are working with us, to say, hey, come on this tour, come be a part of this. So the nice thing about that with Punk Rock Saves Lives is that, if there's something that's specifically important to you, it doesn't have to be bone marrow. It doesn't have to be something else. It could be just about anything that you want to raise awareness or to. So,
well, but there's other, like, if you have something that is worthwhile that I don't know of and I'm introduced to it, I would like to be part of the solution. It's easy to sit around. Like I get online and I fight with people a lot, too much, about stuff. Yeah. And I've mellowed out in the last however many months. I'm not sure why, but anyway. I'm still at a certain point you go, yeah, Scott, you've got a lot of bluster and you're pissed off about a lot. But what do you do about it besides argue with people on your Facebook page? And I'd like to be on board.
We'll definitely be a good vehicle for you.
I'm good at moving stuff. I was a moving man for a lot of years. You need somebody to hoof shit. I can do that.
I close this out every week with seeing if, and I'll start with Leland this week. Leland, have you been listening to, reading anything that can help people that they should check out? Anything blowing your mind up?
I don't know if it specifically would help people or not, but so I've been packing up a few things in my basement. I came across this old box of CDs, and a couple of them were like these old Nina Simone CDs, and there was Broadway in there. There was everything you could possibly imagine.
Oh yeah.
And I've been literally playing those things nonstop. So I'm gonna say shout out to Nina Simone, our real estate agent that sold us this house. Actually, the house he grew up in. He said one summer Nina Simone rented the house right behind kids. It was this old wooden barn, and just to practice and record in. And he said she did that all summer long, and she'd invite him out to sit in there and listen. And I was just like, man, that is one of the coolest stories I've ever heard. So yeah, Nina Simone, and then I'm going to show you this because this is rather daunting. But I ordered this a long time ago for a birthday, and it finally came in. But this is the X-Men Age of Apocalypse crossover series.
Ooh.
All in one volume.
Oh, wow.
Man.
And that came in the mail the other day, so that's what I'm going to be reading going
That's
forward.
pretty cool.
Taking them on.
You smoke weed?
What's that?
Do you smoke weed?
Yeah.
No, smoke some weed and read that shit.
Yeah.
That's how we do.
That'll work.
Not a lot, but I
Like-
did some.
Take video of yourself reading that
Yeah.
page by page so that
I used to read because when I was in college and I would read those Conan the Destroyer novels, the Robert E. Howard novels, and I'd just be like, yeah,
Never lead them.
great for that.
April, anything been blowing your mind up?
Well, we were talking about books. I just finished Animal Farm again because one of my friends was reading it. Every time you read that fucking thing, it applies itself to new situations. But I wore this shirt today because I wanted to rep Wrong.
Wrong.
It's a lady band from Vancouver. They're recording a new album right now, so like they only have so many things out. But they fucking rip, dude. Oh my god. So they're recording a new album right now, and I'm really stoked about it. So Wrong with an R.
That's very cool.
Awesome.
Like it. Scott, anything been blowing up that you've picked up?
I rediscovered the Meat Puppets. Does that count?
Yes.
The fucking Meat Puppets. I used to love them. You know how that happens? You love something, then
It's a reappreciate the whole.
and then all of a sudden, boom. Yeah, the Meat Puppets and the Big Boys. I'm just they're on like, yeah.
Yep. Austin, Texas. Big boys.
Yeah. Oh, the Big Boys. It was the Big Boys, the Minutemen, No Means No, and the Meat Puppets. And I was like, what do you call that? The Quadrifer. And
Or Horsemen.
Four Horsemen. What the fuck? Yeah, the Four Horsemen.
I love it.
Yeah.
Going back to those Meat Puppet days, I was lucky enough to be a college DJ, and we had, we were all into everything but Black Flag and everything, and then so you start exploring the SST catalog and all of that, and all you heard about was all those guys talking about Meat Puppets, and
Right.
so we got into Meat Puppets, but their albums were unbelievable, but they didn't compare to those guys live. They were
Yeah, I know.
whoa back in the 80s. Those guys,
No Means No too, but yeah.
yeah, No Means No, very very similar idea, and I still laughed that the Big Boys became Junkyard. I'm sorry, it just
Yeah. Things
But
happen.
Brian Baker was in that band too, and actually they were kind of a cool
The
band.
funny thing is, I was in a band called Three Car Pileup, I think it was 157 years ago, and we played at the Anti Club in, it's in Hollywood. It was in Hollywood. I actually played with No Means No there, but we played with Junkyard there too, and it was like, these are the Big Boys guys.
It's the Big Boys, really. Yeah. So,
And then, so I don't think they would ever remember, but I got to like drool and tell them, oh my God, you're the Big Boys, But the first time I played with No Means No, they came out. It's same era, Anti Club. So it would have been 88 probably. And I was in a band, that same band, Three Car Pileup. We opened. They came out. Three guys. They looked like Milo. They had glasses and they set up three across, right? The drummer turned, and I was like, "What is this about?" And Andy, the singer, kept getting stung, and he took off his dirty sock and put it over the mic, and he stopped. It was like, the fuck is up with these guys? And they just blew my mind. I was like, this isn't even possible for anybody to play this shit. How are they playing this? It was the most like I always tell people, I saw the Ramones and I wanted to start a band. I saw the Minutemen and I wanted to quit music. You know what I mean? It was like that. It was just like, yeah, fuck this. I can't do that. And then when I saw the Meat Puppets, it was like, because the Meat Puppets, like, am I talking too much? I'm talking a lot.
No, we love it.
The Meat Puppets, No Means No, you got to be like, I'm on board with this shit right here. Like, I get it, and I'm into it. But with the Meat Puppets, it's super catchy. It's like you don't have to be that guy, but you can be that guy and go like, how the fuck are these guys playing that? How are they doing it?
How are they making it so accessible?
So good. And then, but on top of it, it's so catchy. You know, it's so that what's this the swimming? What's it called? The swimming place or whatever. I don't know.
Rings a bell. Yeah.
It's just
Scott, have you ever heard band The Whale?
the what?
In
Yeah.
the
Whale.
In the Whale?
Yeah.
No.
Look them up online.
I will. I will.
It just
They're-
I heard a single of theirs once, and then I heard another CD, and I was like, well, these guys are pretty cool sounding. I mean, they kind of got that Helmet vibe. And
Yeah. Yeah.
definitely got some talent, and the vocals are raw, and the drums are killer. And then they were opening up for another band that I went to go see in New York City, and I watched these guys set up, and I'm like, well, where's the rest of the band? And
Two guys.
there's a drummer and a guitar player, and
Don't
that's
you hate that? Oh my God.
but he's playing out of but when you hear like the actual recording and when you hear these guys live, it sounds like there's 6 people playing instruments.
How is that done? Yeah.
Like-
Oh.
We've had them. we've-
in the
We've
way.
been lucky enough to have them on this before. They
Have
are,
you?
yeah, they're from Denver, and luckily I consider them friends, and a lot of the people involved in the charity are really into them, and I am as well.
What's the name again?
In the Whale.
Oh,
In the Whale.
I didn't know.
Jonah.
I didn't know I was preaching to the choir with this, and I also didn't know they were from Denver. So I learned something new tonight.
Yep.
Oh, look at that. Look at how that happened.
Right.
I'm going to take credit for that. I brought you all together this evening.
Yeah.
They're fantastic. Matter of fact, they have a show coming up not too long away. They're doing some safe sound series here where only like 50 people are allowed in a
I
500
would love to do
person venue and all sorts of stuff. So they're part of one of those coming up, and I'm very stoked to go. So
Well, that's really cool.
another piece of good news. It'll be really weird, but Red Rocks was given permission today to be open starting in April with only 2,500 people. It holds 9,500, but we will definitely. It's a first step, but it's going to be rad to see some.
See some people. Yeah.
Somebody just put something in my front door. But to close out like we do every week, Leland's answered this question. April's answered this question. So Scott, I started this with when we got to the new year, and I'm asking everybody each week, where would your life be today if you had not found punk rock? What do you think?
Oh, what a question.
It's
Well-
it's a question, man.
I was an art major and I wanted to be an artist. I wanted to see that guy there?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's my grandpa. I painted that. But I wanted to be live in the village in New York and just be some, super quiet, intimidating dude that sat and drank coffee with paint in his hair and all of that. But I'm not that guy. And so I may have been an artist, but my best friend in the world when I was a kid was my friend Dana, and he introduced me to just to punk rock and the Ramones and the Sex Pistols, and then eventually the Descendants and Minute. DOA was a big one with me and stuff, and he's gone now. He passed away, but he was my best pal, and it was such a big part of our friendship and part of I was immediately just like I need to be a part of this thing. I was a big Kinks guy. I like the Kinks a lot, and Frank Zappa, and I was like, whoa, this is sort of the Kinks, only it's now, and I can do it. And you know what I mean?
Yeah, no. If you had Zappa on the brain as a
Look right here.
musician, then yeah.
Oh, I thought you were wearing a shirt with Marco DeSantis on it.
Nope, that's Frank Zappa.
I'm just
Zappa,
teasing.
Ben Zappa.
Anyway, it became everything. And when I left for Los Angeles, it was to go find the Descendants and find a way to play punk rock music for a living.
You fucking did it, dude.
And you did it.
Well, you should see how I live. So maybe not. I worked at Headhunters, for God's sake. But anyway, yeah.
Oh, I kind of miss Headhunters at this point.
Oh, I miss Headhunters so much. Wasn't that place wonderful? It was a shithole. It was the best shithole ever, though.
Oh,
But anyway, this is a long story. So without punk rock, I
It's
think I would. Man, what did you guys answer? This is impossible.
Your answer was better than mine.
I guess I would have just stayed in my basement doing paintings and scribbling and wishing there was something bigger.
And you said punk rock took you to the world. That's pretty rad.
Yeah, punk rock changed my fucking life. It actually made my life what it is completely.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I think though. But if you talk to somebody who fixes motorcycles and you said, "Hey, what would your life be if there weren't motorcycles?" They go, "I don't fucking know."
Yeah,
You know?
the
So
void.
how can you answer that, right?
The
No.
fucking black void.
Yeah, they're like, I don't know. I do motorcycles, so yeah.
That's perfect. Well, I guess we'll wrap it up. What an amazing conversation, Scott. Thank you so much. April, thanks for jumping in. And
I'm good to you. When you say April's doing it, I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Do you remember you were playing drums at fuck, the place across from Stubbs? What's it called?
Stubbs?
Not across, but down.
right across. Yeah, the kind of punk rock club.
Shit, I'm having a brain fart.
got a lot of-
Everybody I know works there.
I know what he's talking about. I've been there too, but I don't know the name.
What's that?
Bulls?
No, the other down the street, past 7th, down the hill.
Oh,
On
well,
the Mohawk. Thank you.
Oh,
You were playing drums there, and it was right after my divorce, and there was a girl, and I wanted to show off, and so I got her back up on that back part there. You were playing downstairs at the, in the little room.
oh
And,
yeah,
we
yeah.
did that there. And we watched you play drums. Do you remember that?
Only
That's
a couple times that I could probably pinpoint what it was. I played
well.
on that.
I don't. It was with the. I don't. You were just smashing everything and destroying everything, and like I had been like, I'm gonna talk to this girl and she's like, I really like this band. Can we? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, hey, can we go back there? And they were like, yeah, Scott, you can go back there because you're Scott. I went back there. For once in my life, I used my thing. Went back there, and you were just smashing and trashing and just destroying. And I totally forgot I was even with that girl. And I was like, I think we're watching you just crush those drums. Eventually, she left. She went away, and I was like, oh, was I with somebody? Like, you were just, and from that area, you can't even hear the music.
Cock block you, bro.
No, you didn't. I cock blocked myself. I was all about like, wow, you were just so good. It was so good. And I was like,
Thank you, Scott.
I'm in. Yeah. I don't even remember the girl's name or what she looked like or anything. I don't even know if I was that interested. But but yeah, you're a really good drummer.
Thank you very much. I hope to cock block more random people in the future.
That's a thought. That's a thing. Do it. Maybe you should make a T-shirt. That should be your T-shirt.
It's like I was mesmerized by the drummer.
You should put. I hope to cock block more people by mesmerizing with my drumming in the future.
And
I'd buy one.
That's a
huge
whole
gift,
bumper
guys.
sticker right there.
That's April's sticker. We come up with stickers on this show a lot.
Oh, I
So
could do like Travis and have my own fucking sticker.
your own hashtag. Yeah.
Rob, before you go, everybody check out Chihuahua and Buffalo because it's fucking bitching.
Yes.
Thanks. Thank you.
So
Yeah,
he's
check it out. If you don't like it, don't buy it. Whatever. If you do like it, though, buy it. Don't just listen to it. Because
support.
yeah, don't be a dick. Just buy it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, don't scream it because kidding.
Buy it.
Buy it.
But, Remember a couple of closing things this week. Remember to get a hold of us if you can host a food drive somewhere in your town. We want to try to knock out all 50 states this month. Just even if it's 5 people bringing something in.
How do you host a food drive?
Set up somewhere, advertise to your people, to any of your people online. Just
set up somewhere. What does that mean?
maybe even put a box in your front yard. You could go to, if a bar is allowed to have 10.
It's like ask around and say,
Yeah.
can we do this here?
Yeah, can we set up? Get someone to play an acoustic guitar. Scott.
I don't know anybody does that, but I'll
To the guitar case.
and just advertise it for a week or two, and then say, hey, this day we're going to bring some food. Tell me a cool food bank in your town that you want to give it to. Send us all the info. We'll put it up and tell people, if you're in the Buffalo area, go check this out.
Do you have a link or something, or a place where people can go to get information on how to do that or anything?
We're going to set it up, but you can easily, and you can email any of us. I'm Rob at punkrocksaveslives.org, Tina or info@punkrocksaveslives.org. We will reply. We will help you find, if you need help finding a food bank in your town that you can take it to, we will find that. You can even give you ideas of what,
How to do it.
how to do it, and what foods to tell people that are most important to bring. Canned meats and peanut butter, huge.
Really?
Really. Imagine if you're living day to day, and you don't know what you're going to eat day to day, food insecurity, whatever. Proteins, peanut butter, stuff like that, beans, stuff like that are substantive food that actually have a health benefit as well.
Wow.
So it's great when people bring ramen noodles, yes, but
They're not good for you.
they're not great for it. So if you can do things, if you can go, this even sounds crazy. I'm allergic to pork, but Spam is huge for.
I can understand that.
Yeah,
Like
Spam is a big thing to donate to food banks because they can make things from it if they eat meat. If they don't eat meat, garbanzo beans are a big deal because there's lots of protein there.
Black beans,
Yeah,
chickpeas,
black,
all that shit.
Did you know Spam has a museum in Minnesota? I went there.
right turn.
Full on
no,
experience with like everything. It's
I'm
great.
a
Well, that's
roadside
cool,
attraction.
right?
I understand that. I see those things on the road and I pull over, so
The Spam Museum.
I would check that out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
wanna make-
everybody listening, check into it. It's something you guys can do.
Yeah, like
We all can do. Let's do something.
facilitate
Let's
it
be
yourself.
proactive.
You don't have to facilitate it yourself. You don't have to collect cans yourself and then go through the trouble of taking them in. You can just be a spearhead for, hey, people, go take it to this food bank. Just
Yeah.
be
Find a way to.
beacon of awareness is
Yeah.
up to.
And we would love to help you out do that, and we can do a lot of good around the country. I know it's been tough through the year. We've done so much with mental health online, and we've done a lot of great. But here's a way we can start doing some stuff out there until we can officially get back out there to the road to you. That's coming, guys. If you are so inclined, please get your shots. That'll get us all back on the road soon. More venues can open. More bars can open if
Less people will die.
Yep. So less people will die. So check that out. Other than that, check on your neighbors, like we've been saying all the time. Do something small every day. Learn something. One of the coolest things every day, even if it's something minor. I mean, I learned today how to turn a light on a cooler on the back of a 7-Up machine because I didn't know that button was there. So challenge yourself to learn something new every day. And it's rad ways to keep your spirits up. Let us know. I say it every week. My phone number is on our Facebook page, I believe. If not, it's readily available on mine. If you're struggling, use us. Use Punk Rock Saves Lives as your first step. We can help lead you to professionals if you want therapy, stuff like that. We can try to find low cost options. We can try all sorts of stuff. We're here. Even if we're not the professional, we can be the first ear and the first step to help you get to something to make your life better if you need it. If you just need an ear, we got a lot of friends, a lot of punk rockers that could be that first ear for you. So we care about you. We love you. I close it with two little statements every week. Thank you all. I love you guys, but one love, up the punks. Good night, everybody. Have an amazing
The mentality, not a music, okay?